Are you thinking about moving into the Lexington area, but you really don't want the big hustle and bustle of city life? Well, maybe you would consider moving into Versailles. We're going to be looking at the city of Versailles here in this week's video. We're going to go over all the details, all the ins and outs, the pros and cons. We're going to show you some of the neighborhoods. We're going to talk about why people like to live here and what draws people here. We're going to give you a spin around so you can kind of get a look at this area. What do you think about this? Stick with us. We're going to get to it right now. So if you're thinking about moving into the Central Kentucky area and you'd like to take a look at Versailles, reach out to us, give us a call, send us a text or an email. We'd be happy to help you make the move into Central Kentucky, Lexington, Versailles, or anywhere else in the area. Now, the city of Versailles is very small. It's really not considered a city in this area. It's a town. And the population is about 10,400 and something. So very small as comparison, to Lexington or maybe even Richmond or some other towns nearby. One of the other major things with transportation here is being able to get on 60 going west, and you can be over to Frankfort in about 15 minutes. Now, lots of people work for state government. If you watched our video about Frankfort that we did, we talked about state government and how many people, drive into the city of Frankfort every day. So people who live here in Versailles, they can travel pretty quickly up to Frankfort. Now, one of the things that makes it hard to find housing here is because a lot of the area here is made up of horse farms. And so these farms are hundreds of acres and take up big areas of the Woodford County space here. So what about all the pros and the cons of living here in Versailles? Some people love living here, but this might not be the city for everyone. So let's talk about the number one pro is the proximity to Lexington. So many people love to be close to Lexington. As we stated earlier, you can get on US 60 going east, and you can take that all the way into downtown Lexington. You're going to pass Keeneland, you're going to pass the Bluegrass Airport, you're going to pass Man of War. You can get on Man of War and go almost all the way around the city. Going on in toward downtown, you're going to make it up to New Circle Road, and we've talked many times about New Circle Road and how you can get on New Circle and go all the way around the city. So in about 15 minutes, depending on the traffic, you could be into Lexington from here in Versailles. So that is our number one pro. So as you can see behind me, our number two pro is just the beauty of living in this town. Small, quaint town, just a lovely town to live in. The beauty here between the horse farms and the small neighborhoods makes this a wonderful place to live, whether you are moving here, changing jobs, coming from another state, and you want to live close to Lexington but not be in Lexington. This is the place for you because it is a beautiful place to live. Now, the number three pro that we found was that this is really an upscale town. Housing here is a little more expensive, so it is more of a boutique place to live. And we're here now at the Amsden, and as you can see on my coffee, I am trying out the iced pistachio latte, and very tasty. I've never tried it before, but this is just a beautiful old building here that's been restored, and you'll have to come into Main Street here in Versailles and try it out. So just the upscale area here in Versailles makes this the number three. All right, now number four pro to living here, and this isn't my opinion, but according to niche.com and lots of clients who have moved into this area and people and friends that I know that live here, they love the school system here. This is a school system that's small enough for parents to get involved. You can be a part of the community. Definitely the school system here. Check it out on niche.com to see what you think about the school system. But schools here is the fourth pro of living here in Versailles. Now, the fifth pro of living here in Versailles is, really the high resale value of your property. So if you buy a home here, yes, it's going to be more expensive than some of the outlying towns that we looked at. But being able to resell that home, you're going to get, if it's well taken care of, you're going to get top dollar for your home. because the inventory here is so limited. When houses go on the market, typically they sell very quickly. So the resale value here is the number 5 pro for moving into Versailles. But we can't have pros without having some cons, so we're going to look at those next. Now let's talk about those cons. The number 1 con to living here in Versailles is those higher house prices. And you know, that's just part of living in Versailles. So really, to be able to find a house that's in the 300s or lower, really in the low 300s, anywhere in the 200s is very much unheard of unless you find just a very small starter home. So if you're looking for a house in this price range, be sure to reach out to us, send us a text, give me an email, give me a call, and let me put you on a subscription list so that you can get any house as soon as it comes available here in the Versailles housing market area. Now the second con we have is limited stores here, from big box stores like Target or Meijer, Lowe's, Home Depot. There are no stores like that here. Really, the biggest store here in Versailles is Kroger. I did read that the Kroger here is the largest in the state of Kentucky. So they sell clothing, electronics, just about anything you would want. But there are no big box stores here because we are so close to Lexington. So you can be over at Palomar or even over at Hamburg in 30 minutes or so to just about any store that you would want to go to. Actually, the new Publix that's being built and will open soon over in Palomar, you can be there in probably 15 to 18 minutes depending on the traffic. So really, the limited stores here doesn't really feel like a con, because really if you live in Lexington or any other big city, how long does it take you to get to a major shopping area? Usually 10 to 15 minutes, and you can get that here as well. But it is noted on our list as a con. Now the next con we have is very similar. Actually, the next two are kind of in the same grouping, is limited dining. We really do have limited dining here in Versailles. There are no major steakhouse restaurants. There are no seafood restaurants or Chinese places, food places to eat. You know, there's several different fast food restaurants here, but no major dining here. But you could be in Lexington, you could eat at Sutton's, you could be at Outback, you could be at any of the, Sedona Tap House, any of the really nice places that Lexington has to offer. You could be there in just a matter of, 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes, depending on the time of day that you go. You could be at those places. So that's noted as another con of living here. Our next con that we wanted to look at as we're waiting for our traffic light to turn is limited entertainment. So, other than the Woodford Theater, which is awesome here, there really is no nightlife or entertainment other than, the Falling Springs, the park here that we talked about. So there's not really anything else here. But because we are 15 minutes to Lexington and 15 minutes or so to Frankfort, you could really find lots of things to do that are within just a very few minutes. So those type things cause this to be, might be a downside for you. Now the last con we wanted to talk about today is just the slower pace of life. Of course, I'm here in downtown Versailles right now during, time when people are picking up their kids or getting home from work. So you can kind of see the street has been busy behind me as we've walked. But Versailles has such a slower pace of life compared to some of the bigger cities that you might be in. So if you're considering moving into this area, if that's something that you're really looking for, Versailles would be the place for you. People love to move into Versailles, the Versailles area, because of the limited traffic, the close proximity to Lexington, small town charm here. And as we stated, it is a very small community. So we're going to be looking at some things today on our map tour. We're going to look at some neighborhoods. We're going to be looking at, the parks, the schools here, all the different things that might make this an area that you would want to move into. So reach out to us and let us know if you have any interest in maybe moving into this Versailles area. So we're going to continue on with our education and our tour of the Versailles Kentucky area, which, as we stated earlier, is about a 15-minute drive just outside of Lexington, of course, depending on the traffic. So I wanted to show you just an overview of just how far away it is when we look at it on the map. Let's compare it to our New Circle Road area in Lexington, where we always kind of go back to give us just a framework of how far it is. So let's get into my computer and let me show you just some really great details about Versailles area and everything really around there. So here we are looking at the map. We see just the city of Versailles here really is a very small area. And as we talked about, Versailles is really, the population there is just under 10,500. So a really, really small area. But I want to zoom us out so we can take this look at Lexington. As you can see, you would definitely just be right here on US 60. It's about maybe a 15-minute drive at most to get you, probably only in about 10 minutes to get you over to Bluegrass Airport here. And then that would put you right here on Man of War, which we've talked about in previous videos, that this is kind of the outer loop around Lexington. This Man of War here will take you down to Palomar, which is over in the Beaumont area, Harrodsburg Road, take you on down to Nicholasville Road, which is close to the, the Summit area that we've looked at. And if you travel on over to the east, it will take you up to Hamburg. Now, it's definitely not a fast travel to get around Man of War that way. But getting back to our travel here in Versailles, and it, as I said, it is pronounced Versailles here in Kentucky and not Versailles. So we always know when out-of-towners come in. So be sure that you know how to pronounce it, because people will definitely pick you out as an outsider, and we don't want that. I want to zoom in a little bit and take a look at some of the really neat things. We've talked about Falling Springs. So Falling Springs is here on the west side of Versailles. I want to click on it and let's see if we can look at some pictures here of Falling Springs. And it's just a really, really nice park that they have put in. They've got, let's see if I can zoom in. They've got an indoor Olympic pool. They've got the outdoor water park. Now their outdoor water park is really nice. It's got the slides, all the baseball fields are here. Like I said, they do have all kinds of things, and it's great in the wintertime. They have all kinds of activities here with their indoor pool. They've got a full gym that you can join here. They have all kinds of activities that they do, outside during the summer season. Now they also have Woodford Theater is there, and I've been to several shows that they do. They're just an awesome, I'm trying to think of the last two things that I saw. Oh, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is what I last saw there just around Christmas time. A phenomenal group that puts on all different types of shows here at the Woodford Theater. This is what it looks like on the outside. It's very close to the bridge and the train track that runs there. We'll show you some of those things just a little bit later. So that is Falling Springs. Now going back out, I want to show you the proximity into Frankfort. So like we said, it's about a 10-minute drive to the Bluegrass Airport, about 15 to 18 minutes into downtown Lexington. But if you need to get on the interstate, you would take right up here. It's about a 15-minute drive west on US 60 over here to Frankfort to get on I-64, to take you into Louisville or, farther east than that. I'm going to pull it out so that you can kind of get a look. Let me see if I can, this will kind of give you an idea. You can see where Louisville is here on our map. So sometimes people, you might work up in the Shelbyville area or over into Louisville, and it's a quick travel there up to I-64. I like to show you the map in this view just because you can see it's really not a heavily populated area. So we're going to zoom in a little bit now so you can get an idea of just the neighborhoods and kind of how they're laid out. We're going to look at a few different things here. So here on the southern side, close to the Bluegrass Parkway, we have Huntertown Elementary School. A really good school. Check that out on niche.com if you have kids in that elementary age. Then we have Woodford County High School is over here next to US 60, and they've just built a new school. Also check that out. Woodford County does get, a lot of people like to go into live in the Woodford County area just because of the schools here. So check that out on niche.com. Now we're going to look at a couple properties here. People like to live in this Adena Trace neighborhood, and I want to get over here to my MLS map and kind of show you what this one looks like. Now this house is listed just right at $500,000, just below that. Now it's only been on the market for about 13 days. So I just wanted to go through some of these photos just to show them to you. Nice high ceilings. This property is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, and right about 2,700 square feet. Nice tall ceilings. Let's see if we can take a look at the kitchen. What do you think about those blue cabinets? We're kind of getting away from all the gray. We're adding some blues and some greens, I'm noticing, in some of the trends. Really, really pretty. Adding your own color. So that's just a quick look at this house. Let's go back to our map so I can show it to you where it is actually on our map so you can get an idea. It is right here, down here on this southwest side. But really anywhere in Versailles, you're going to be able to get on US 60, whether you're going into Lexington here or if you're going into Frankfort. A lot of people work up in Frankfort, so they get on 60 going this way, northwest into Frankfort. So US 60 is the main travel in Versailles area. Now, sometimes people may work maybe over in, Lawrenceburg, and so maybe they're going to get on the Bluegrass Parkway. And so I wanted to kind of show you that real quick. We're going to take a look here at the Bluegrass Parkway and how it runs right here into Versailles. It actually stops in Versailles, but you can see that runs all the way down. It can take you all the way to the southwest in Kentucky. So whether you're going down to Elizabethtown or you're going to take it, all the way over, and that'll connect you to Interstate 65, which would take you down to Nashville. Now, another property we're going to take a look at here. Now, this is one of the less expensive properties that we're going to see today, and it is almost $400,000. This property is. Let's go over here and look at it on our MLS. I just want to kind of show you some photos of this property. So if you're just wanting to get into Versailles and maybe you're not ready for the $500,000 and $600,000 budget, it is more difficult to find houses in the $300,000 range, just because, as we stated earlier, this is a more expensive town to live in. Definitely more expensive than, the communities around it that we've already looked at, whether it be Georgetown or Frankfort, Lawrenceburg. All of those communities are going to be less expensive than this Versailles area. It is known as the equine capital area because there's lots of horse farms there. So their tax structure is based around that. Very expensive area to live in. So this property has been on the market, though, for 41 days. It's priced just under $400,000 and it's 2,200 square feet. So if you are wanting to get into the Versailles market, be sure to reach out to us. Send us a text, send me an email, or give me a call, and let's help get you into this now. This property's been on the market 41 days. Could we get a good deal on it? Maybe we could. So be sure to reach out so we can definitely check on that for you. The next property I want to show you is just this neighborhood right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can kind of get a look at it. This one right here, people love to live in this neighborhood. This is the South Hill neighborhood. Now it's closer into downtown. As you can see, we've looked over here at this one, the less expensive one on our list, and we've looked at this one down here that's kind of right in the median area. So now this one we're going to look at. Let's see if we can kind of take a look at the neighborhood. You can see it is really close to our downtown area. Just a look at the neighborhood. I'm going to spin you around, try to give you a good idea of the houses in this neighborhood. Look at it on this map so you can kind of get a look at where all the main roads are. Here we are at our US 60 going into Lexington. What do you think about this property? I mean, you can see that this South Hill area, lots of trees, an older, more established neighborhood. Lots of people really like to live here. Now, this property is listed at $500,000. So let's go over here and look at it on our MLS so we can kind of get a look at the pictures. Very traditional home, styled very traditionally. It's got the medium oak cabinets. Not sure about what kind of flooring that is, but it does look like it's maybe a brick brick pattern. I see hardwood. What do you think about the green? Some nice ceilings there. Beautiful staircase. Let's see if we can get into the backyard area here, because that's what I really wanted to show you. It's got a hot tub. It's a small backyard because it's on a corner lot. It's got the 2-car garage that faces the side. So what do you think about this property? It's in a really nice area. Now this one has only been on the market for 2 days. So if you are interested in anything in this neighborhood, and it's priced right at the $500,000 mark, if you're interested in anything in this neighborhood, we definitely have to get you in quickly to see properties like this, because that's where everybody wants to live. So let's get back over here to our map and let's see what other properties we've got on our list to look at real quick. Now there's a new property, a new neighborhood I wanted to show you, and it is, more expensive to live in this part of the neighborhood because these are new houses being built. It's right here off of, US 60 going into Lexington. Let's see if we can take a look at it now. Probably going to have to look at it on our MLS because it is a new construction. Let's see what they say about it, when it's going to be completed. Well, it says it's completed. Let's see if there's any photos to look at. No, I don't think there's any photos to look at on this one. So we'd have to really go over and take a look. So we may go over and see if we can drive through and see what the construction status is at this time on this property. Now it is listed just around $509,000. It is new construction. It is a smaller home than all the others we looked at. It's 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. It looks like all the other ones that we've looked at today are 4 bedrooms. This one's 2,400 square feet. So it's right about the same price as the others we've looked at, but it is just a little bit smaller. So getting back over here to our map, I wanted to kind of zoom in and show you just some really interesting facts about Versailles. And not sure if you've ever seen this, but you can see right here where my cursor is. This is the Kentucky Castle. Now, you'll have to study what the history is of this. There's all kinds of rumors of who built this castle and who it was for. And I just wanted to give you just an overview. Now, I've been here to eat dinner a couple times. I've met with my real estate group here. It is a beautiful place to eat. It's a beautiful place to tour. They do weddings here. I'll try to show you some of the really... Now check out all that wood detail and those features. I wanted to show you the outside because that is what so many people really just love to see. Is that beautiful? So many people post pictures. Okay, now I wanted to show you this one. Now on the rooftop, I've been up here on the rooftop. You can see for miles. It is just an amazing place to visit. So if you come into Lexington for any type of visit or coming in and we're going to tour some homes, you might want to schedule a time to stop in there and just check out the view. Now, the food there, you can go for lunch. Lunch is more affordable, but their dinner there is very expensive. So if you just want to go in and just take a look at the place and eat, lunch. You probably will need to get reservations, but be sure to stop in and look at it. It's just such an incredible sight to see there at the Kentucky Castle. Let me see if there's anything else on our list that we needed to look at. Oh, I wanted to show you the orchard. Now, down here to the south part of Versailles is the Eckert's Orchard, and it is just a great place to take your kids, definitely during pumpkin time. Let's see if we can look at any pictures that they have there. Okay, so during the fall season, all kinds of kids tours going out to Eckert's, to petting zoo there. There's all types of wagon rides. Look, they've got these slides that you can get on. This is what they have set up there. The fall is just really an incredible time. They do have an apple orchard. You can go out there and pick. I'm thinking they have strawberries early in the year that you can pick. Check out those pumpkins. Do you want to ride a camel? So they've got blackberries. You can go and pick your own. They have a store where you can go in and buy apple butter, different types of jams and jellies, peaches. I mean, a really, really great place to go and spend. People come from all over central Kentucky to go out to Eckert's. So you'd definitely want to stop by there. I mean, if you decide to live anywhere else in central Kentucky, you're going to want to go into Eckert's to take a look at the orchard and see what all things they have to offer there. Now, what do you think about the Versailles area and how close it is to the Lexington area? Sometimes people need to come in and work in Lexington, but they don't want to live right in Lexington. Well, I think I need to live 15 to 20 minutes outside of Lexington, but my budget is smaller. Versailles would not be the place for you because, as we talked about earlier in our pros and cons, the price of housing there is significantly more than living in some of the other areas of central Kentucky. If you enjoy watching our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tap the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about all the market changes here in the Lexington, Versailles, Frankfort, central Kentucky area. What did you think about our tour through the quiet town of Versailles? Reach out to us, give us a call, send us a text or an email. We'd be happy to help you make the move into Versailles, into Lexington, into Frankfort, or anywhere in central Kentucky. And until next time, I hope to see you around town.